Good morning. Let's officially kickstart Breakfast Extra. For our first hour this morning, we're looking at a story from Lagos that has already stirred deep concern among urban residents and civil society. In the community of Oworonshoki, demolition teams moved in with bulldozers, leaving many families homeless and threatening livelihoods. According to recent reports, residents lament that buildings were pulled down without proper notice or resettlement plans. We'll bring you insights from the field and hear from the community organizers who are working with affected families and also who have been victims of these demolitions. But first, let's cue you a field report from our correspondent Eferobor, who has been following the demolitions. Take a look.
It's a day of mixed emotions at Oloro Palace in Oworonshoki, as the Lagos State government begins the long-awaited compensation exercise for residents affected by the recent demolition. Officials say the gesture is part of the state's commitment to fairness, transparency, and the welfare of its residents.
The governor has graciously approved compensation, and that was exactly what I was striving at. You know, that these people whose houses are demolished must get restitution, and the restitution has come in the way of compensation.
If you look at the total number of people that are being compensated, they are 79 in numbers. That is testimony that what Mr. Governor actually promised people that they will be compensated actually materialized.
The demolition, carried out to pave way for urban renewal project, displaced several families and businesses in the area. But with this exercise, many say they feel heard and supported.
I'm aware that close to 80 people did the enumeration and verification, and I want to believe that all of them will be duly compensated. You
can see everybody that collected the check, they were smiling. If it's not something measurable to what they are parting away on the overriding public interest, I'm sure they will squeeze their faces.
For residents like Mr. Taiwo Lumide, the payment offers a fresh start after months of uncertainty.
I got a compensation for our demolished house, and I'm happy, and I would use this to sort out one or two things and maybe get a rent or something.
At this moment, at least there is a relief. That relief it goes a mile.
I'm happy because it's better than not. So I will try to do consider to add more on it. I'm going to get a room to stay with my ship.
The Lagos State government says the compensation exercise will continue until all verified victims receive their entitlement, assuring that no genuine case will be left out. In Lagos, for News Central, Israel, Eferobor.
Idoko show my faith.
I'm proud of my people.
The early Saturday morning incident at Musafejo Idiaraba community, another location within Iyanawuru, but different from the last demolition site, saw residents rally together to stop the demolition of their homes, a move they say threatened their only means of survival.
When they started coming in, I think they started at Ferry, in which they resisted that they are not coming in. And after then, I think they now are repelled of coming here. And we started this and something that, okay, everybody should come out, should come and ask them, on whose authority are they doing all these things? Because this demolition, I think, is supposed to have started because the Lagos State House of Assembly said they don't know anything about this demolition. And many of these people at the House of Assembly, they are saying they are telling us that they don't know anything about this demolition.
When News Central visited the area, residents recounted the origin of the dispute and accused a traditional ruler of instigating the attempt as they debunked compensation rumor.
On Thursday, we learned that there was compensation going on at the Oworonshoki Palace, but we are not really care about who are the people that they are giving the compensation until when we saw it in the press that there are some indigenes living very close to us over there, that the compensation is being given to them. There is nobody behind the thing. Is Oba Saliu Oloworo II is the one behind the whole thing.
A ò gbowó ọba Ọlọ́run ọba Sálíù ló talẹ̀ wa ló ló ń gbowó àwa ò gbowó lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ o kò sí láńlọ́ọ̀dù kankan tó lọ gbọ́ ọba Sálíù àwọn tẹ́nàǹtì ló lọ ń gbowó lọ́wọ́ pa àwọn ọmọ ìlú àwọn fámìlì ẹ̀ ló fún lówó kò ń ṣàwà ló fún lọ ilé wa la fẹ́ gbà padà tilẹ̀ wa talẹ̀ wa.
ṣé lóòótọ́ gbé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe fẹ́ lé
According to them, they lived peacefully in the area for years and now fear that renewed attempts could still displace them.
These are the things they are shooting at us. All our eyes, I think many people got wounded this morning. So we don't really understand what is happening. And we want to believe that, okay, if government knows about this thing, they should come out on social media, maybe on TV, on radio. They should tell us what their own gain or their own plan on this issue.
With one person arrested and a fence demolished, the people of Musafejo remain on edge, hoping that authorities will step in to resolve the land dispute and secure their right to live in peace. In Lagos, for News Central, Igbalani Omni.
Thanks to you, Israel Eferobor, of course, for that report. As a matter of fact, the news reaching us right now is that tension is building in Oworonshoki as some residents are getting ready to actually protest, of course, what has been happening to them, talking about the demolitions. And the police have said that, of course, the police, because we're hearing that there's a police presence there to ensure that the protest is peaceful and no one is hurt. But anyway, Israel Eferobor joins us now in the studio, and also joining us is Opeyemi Ogunlami, the Take It Back coordinator, Koshofe and local government area. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. And just to clarify now, that event just happened on Monday, all right? Okay. So there was a miscommunication. There were kind of wires crossed. The event that Chiwete just described happened on Monday. So it just sets a tone for this discussion that we're having regarding all that happened in Oworonshoki as more demolitions are happening, and we saw that on Monday just after the compensation exercise that Israel covered. Now, let me start with you, Israel, right? You have gone to Oworonshoki. You were right there at the beginning when this happened, how the bulldozers came in the middle of the night, and now we're now here in Musafejo, or Kosefe is part of it now. So this seems to be a sweeping demolition that's pulling down across the entirety of the local government area. What are we looking at this time?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Good to be here. Indeed, you just described and set the tone for the conversation. That event indeed happened on Monday, early Monday morning, the presence of police operatives, which we can confirm is still in force at this time. So the police presence at Oworonshoki and environs is just to forestall any sort of a breakdown of law and order in the area as a result of the demolitions in the area. In that report by my colleague Neil Igbalani, he mentioned an area, Musafejo. So these are places, within Oworonshoki, that have been affected, by the demolition. It's a story that has been building for quite some time now, and we understand that reports have been made, stakeholders have met, the authorities in the area, they've been in touch with the people, and but from everything that is happening right now, it seems like it's a case of the word of some people against another. So some are saying that they were compensated, others are saying no, they weren't compensated. But I've always said it, all through my reportage, that I was there, I've seen people being compensated, but I also do know that some people are also debunking that, hey, those people who were compensated, we don't know them, they are words now, they are loyalists, to the authorities, so we don't know them, we want our homes, our land back. But the authorities, they've said, look, this land that we're talking about here, these are acquisition land for the government. They were not initially sold to anyone. That is the story. And the government is back, is here after so many years. It dates back to the 1950s, by the way, this particular issue about the land. It dates back to the 1950s. And so right now, the government is saying, okay, we're taking back this land. You don't have proper documentation for this land, and so we're taking back this land. But the grievance right now is it took so long, and you came in the middle of the night, tear gassing the people, and that is indeed the story.
Okay, let me come to you, Mr. Ogunlami. I mean, as a Take It Back coordinator for Kosofe local government area, you work with grassroots and, of course, community groups. What has your organization found regarding the legality of the demolition action in Oworonshoki?
The situation around Oworonshoki, if I heard you audibly, before this time, there have been a lot of games around demolition, and it's not starting in 2025. It started in 2023 when the community, certain area of the community received a notification that they need to leave the area in 7 days. The area worked so much to consult whoever, they didn't know who to consult. So 7 days came and bulldozer arrived in Oworonshoki, started demolition everywhere. And then people consulted their lawyer, community members consulted their lawyer. Lawyer wrote a letter to task force. Yes, it was the task force they saw around. When the task force would reply, task force said the letter should be rerouted to the Oba of Oworonshoki. That was the response of the head of task force then, Jeje Loye. So when they did that, people did all their best. They wanted to visit the king. The king started making meetings, saying he does not know anything about it. And then after much uproar, the people consulted House of Assembly. They had a meeting. The task force head was there. The Subject General of Lagos State was there in 2023, and they brought out the map of that area. It wasn't government land. It wasn't any acquisition land in that area. That's one. And then secondly, it was stated that they wanted to propose a ferry jetty in that area. Meanwhile, we have already in Oworonshoki an existing ferry that's not functioning in Oworonshoki. And then we kept pushing forward. Now, what's the idea about this demolition? They opted out of the demolition in 2023. They stopped. Later, they came up again saying that the place is for shrine. The king of Owo sent a notification to people that is meant for shrine. They are Igboro, according to him. The people stood up against it. They sent NEWA notification saying they are contravened NEWA regulations, whatever, 2024. The people rose, and thanks to Amnesty International that responded to that. NEWA backed out. So when NEWA backed out, they proceeded to using LABSCA in 2025. And LABSCA came up, demolished the area. This time, it was unfortunate how LABSCA played out. How in about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we saw Oworonshoki responding to the media that that place is inhabitable and all. But suddenly now, Oworonshoki has gone into silence. It's the Commissioner of Environment that Lagos State is using now. Yet, I need to say this, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu hasn't said a word with regards to this demolition. He hasn't said anything, and we want to hear from him.
Well, at this point, we have to leave it here. I wish we could continue with this discussion, but unfortunately, we have to close the curtains. Now, we want to extend the right of reply to all the right authorities who are, and that's the Lagos State government. There's an open invitation for you to come and speak on these issues. Why is the demolition happening now more than ever? What exactly is the master plan? Why did you let the residents and Lagosians live in that place for over 60 years, and then finally decide it was time to pull it down? I want to say thank you to you, Opeyemi Ogunlami. Thank you so much, and also to you, Israel, for all the hard work in coming in this morning.